Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book and Networking Like a Pro, and today we're going to talk about monetizing a free speaking engagement. Now, for those of you who were there during my first conversation, we talked a little bit. Let me give you Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book and Networking Like a Pro, and today we're going to talk about monetizing a free speaking engagement. Now, I am really fired up about this conversation because it really goes hand in hand with our previous conversation that we had before, which was 3 steps to better monetizing your reputation as an expert. And just as a quick recap, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, you certainly can, but a quick recap was, step number 1 was developing a target market. Right? Step number 2 was taking and creating a unique selling proposition. And then step number 3 was asking for the business using the consultative sales approach. And I gotta tell you, when I started doing that on a consistent basis, it was like a metamorphosis took place. I literally went from, knowing that I knew my stuff, but talking to people and, chasing some people around and, hoping for the best because some people bought, some people didn't, whatever, to instead talking to the right people because I knew who my target market was, saying the right things because I had a good elevator pitch, and then asking for the business in a way that I was comfortable with and that got me results. Okay? And this is kind of along the same manner, which is monetizing a free speaking event. That really is kicking it up a notch with your business. Because let me just tell you, as a coach, author, service professional, whatever the case may be, you fall into one of 2 categories when it comes to a speaking engagement. Either number 1 is you've thought about speaking before, maybe you've even been asked to come speak at the Kiwanis Club, the Chamber or whatever, you've been asked to speak and you haven't done it. Or door number 2 is you have done it, but you just weren't able to squeeze as much revenue from it or out of it as you would like. All right, and that's the good news for us here today because we are going to talk about some real specific things to help you monetize a free speaking engagement. So, with that said, let's jump right in and get this baby started. Number 1, when it comes to monetizing a free speaking event, is engage in what I call a mistake-driven countdown format. All right, let me say that again. Engage in a mistake-driven countdown format. Now, let me tell you what that means. A lot of times I see, coaches and consultants and service professionals, when they go speak, they give away so much good information that nobody buys. They literally give away the farm. Okay? And during a 30-minute presentation, you can't really do that. You want to be able to give value, obviously. You want people to know that you know your stuff, again, obviously, but you also need to make sure that you don't give away the farm. What I tell people is this. Do a mistake-driven countdown format. So if it's a 30-minute presentation, I might have 3, maybe 4 things. What I tell people is you go top 3 mistakes, just as an example, top 3 mistakes most coaches and service professionals make when delivering a free presentation. Right? That could be my title when I'm talking to people. And I would go mistake number 3, mistake number 2, mistake number 1, and bam, I'd be done. As opposed to just a how to grow and monetize your reputation as an expert. You see, a lot of coaches and stuff like that, and speakers, and authors, service professionals, what I used to do is I would just have this arcing dialogue, and I knew so much about it, and I know you know a lot about your subject matter as well, that what happened, you just started talking, people started raising their hands, you called on them, you felt good, it feels good, but what happened, and this didn't feel good, was at the end, no one bought anything. No one bought anything, all right? So what you want to do, have 3 points, count them down, 3, 2, 1, okay? And go from there and give value and make sure that people know what it is that you're talking about without giving away the store. Number 2, make sure that you hold your Q&A in the middle of the presentation, not at the end. All right, this is super important, so pay attention hopefully on this one. A lot of times and I've done it myself, I'm sure you have too if you've spoken, is, and people teach this, wait till the end and hold your Q&A, right? And the problem with that, there's a lot of problems. Number one is that at the end of the presentation, that's when you actually want to be asking for the business, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? Number two is that it doesn't create a conversation. See, part of the whole deal with monetizing a free speaking engagement is the fact that there is a conversation going on. Okay, that people look at you not just as somebody who's talking at them or to them or whatever, that it's a conversation, it's a back and forth. Now, obviously it's a presentation, so you're the one going to be doing a lot of the talking, but there's nothing wrong with having a good dialogue from your audience, right, to be able to engage them in the topic at hand. Q&A is absolutely the way you want to do that. So if it's a 30-minute presentation like I was just talking about before, what I do, I'll run through, my first 2 points, maybe gets me to around 12, 13 minutes. I hold a 5 or 6 minute Q&A, and then I finish up with point number 1 and go from there. So hold your Q&A in the middle of the presentation. I am telling you that will absolutely work. Number 3, okay, I have 3 ways to help you better monetize a free speaking engagement. Number 3, you have to ask for the business. Now, you'll notice, I actually talked about this at the previous one, right? That was one of the things, 3 steps, because a lot of times as service professionals, we don't ask for the business. Now, what does that look like in a speaking environment, okay? Because this is very specific. What you do not want to do is come across as the over-the-top, in-your-face, used car salesman, okay? I don't want that. You don't want that. I'm not advocating that. No one, your audience, nobody wants that, okay? But what you can do is after you've added value with a countdown format, after you've shown a propensity to engage them in the conversation with a Q&A in the middle, what I do is I invite them to work with me further. I'll say something like this, and guys, this has really been a great presentation. Hopefully you've got some good value out of it. If you want to be able to plug in and do some stuff with me in terms of going forward, you have a couple of different options. We've got our books and CDs here, and that's X, Y, and Z, or you can be able to engage in some of our coaching program, and that's A, B, and C. Okay? I invite them, and I use this language. If you're looking for some different ways to plug in, or if you liked what you heard and you want to take a deeper dive, this is language that I use. You can ask people. I don't know about thousands, but I've definitely done hundreds of presentations over my career in this business, okay? And I am telling you, you talk to people. When I first started out, it was just, rah, and it just gave everything and nobody bought anything. Now, over the last 5 or 6 years or whatever, I've kind of engaged in more of this type of approach, which has helped me, come from a person who place of, I got to do a free engagement. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that again. To, oh my gosh, I love doing these events. I host my own events. Some of them are free, some of them are not, and that's fine, okay, separate conversation. But I'm not afraid of doing a free speaking engagement. Why? Because I've got these things in place that allow me to be successful, and it will totally change the way you're doing your business. Let me tell you, if you're not speaking and you fall into a service professional or an expert of some sort, you absolutely have to take a look at this, because doing these engagements will absolutely take your business to that next level. Okay, so we talked about monetizing a free speaking engagement. Those are the 3 things that you've got to take on. Hopefully they make sense. Hopefully there's something that you can see yourself doing. And in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thank you for your time.